Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Things are getting hot, and I think it is not going to end as many might look at it. Raila Odinga seems to be behind a peaceful protest that was staged today in Nairobi, and it is Ruto must go. I'm telling you, I know this is what was to be tried in the Kamkunji, the moment where we had the Kamkunji rally. But because of political propaganda by the Kenya Kwanza team, successfully, they managed to muzzle Raila. And Raila is still in South Africa. I have seen Azimio team giving press conferences, responding to the murder claim and the bombshell from the whistleblower, from the IEBC wing. And things are happening faster, thick and thin. In this video, I want us to look at this because I'm going to reveal to you what exactly is political interpretations of this development. Today, this video is seen here. What? That video is a video of the snippet of that protest.
Ruto must go! Complete power! Complete power! Complete power! Complete power! Ruto must go!
So I tried to get to ground just to know what exactly transpired there. And it seems to be a very well organized protest. So I spoke to this reporter. He was there. He's also an online journalist. And he was in that event. In fact, he covered it. So I just wanted to know, I just wanted to listen to a bit of that. Because what I tried to assess, or rather to find out from him, is the kind of turnout that was there and how the police managed. Was it really peaceful? And how did it end? So I think his report is going to give us revelation on the kind of shape or what exactly was this meant to be.
Wamekuja tu ilikuwa ni Ruto must go. Ruto awaambie kwenye msando alienda na watu wengi walikufa because alikuwa kwa serikali ya Uhuru, na anasema walikuwa wanapanga kuwa Chebukati. So yeye sasa alikuwa kwa hiyo gava, hata yeye alikuwa one of them. Na kama Uhuru angetaka kuwa Chebukati angemuua because alikuwa president. So awaambie. So maandamano ilikuwa ndio Ruto must go, wakaenda hivyo mpaka huko nini? Wakirudi Jivanji ndio makarao wakaingia wakaanza kurushana tear gas wakipiga wase. But hiyo sija capture, nimetoa kamera nimeenda kutoa hivi tear gas ikarushwa tena karibu penye nilikuwa. So nikakimbia.
Na wenye walitoka Jivanji walienda hadi wapi?
Watu si wametoroka sasa. Walienda wakaenda City Hall, wakazunguka kwa ofisi ya Gachagua ya president hivyo, wakaenda kwa ile treasury hiyo side ya headquarters za polisi, Kenya Police, wakazunguka hivyo Supreme hivyo, wakienda kurudi sasa side ya Jivanji ndio makarao nao wamefika wakaanza kutupatia gas.
Maybe walikuwa watu wangapi? The number
50 to around 100 people.
50 to around 100. But lakini sasa wakitembea wakienda mpaka huko kwa the president, huko office of the president hawako
wamepita hivyo parliament hivyo.
Na huko wa escorted na polisi.
Walikuwa tu hivyo. Gaucho unajua yeye ni kichwa ngumu. So walikuwa naenda tu wakisema tu hivyo Ruto must go, Ruto must go. Unga nini msando walipia wapi Ruto watoe. Alafu hiyo story ya Kioni ya jana yenye aliongea. So wanasema tu Ruto must go. Hakuwa escorted na polisi. So unajua vile wameonekana wameenda sana hadi kwa ofisi ya the president huko mbele. I think makarao wakapigiwa simu tear gas.
Oh, so initially ni kama walikuwa wameiona kama ni kitu light
Unajua sasa shida tumefika hapo nini mbele ya village market, nikawa kuna watu wameanza saa kuja wenye wako wanajua, wameona kuna maandamano wakajoin. So unajua sasa wamefika hapo kwa ofisi ya Sakaja, wakaanza kupiga manduru, Ruto must go nini, wakaenda parliament hivyo, na wakaona nikaa ni serious, but ilikuwa peaceful. It's just that makarao nikawa wameona itakuwa mbaya, wakaanza
but don't you think they are just testing the waters to see how things will roll?
But Gaucho ananiambia next week wanarudi streets vibaya. So even ndivyo inafanywa next week the same. So Raila time ataongea ni after wamechachisha. So cause wanataka vile wamefanya hapa Kisumu waanze, Iguru waanze, hivyo wakiendelea.
So you listen to, what is it? He's saying that it is just the start and they are looking at creating the momentum. Then when it hits up, maybe it can be blown up to other areas, it can blow up to other areas. And what is your political interpretation? Because I know for quite some time what the discussion we've ever had in this country is there was a soft handshake or a backroom handshake between Ruto and Raila, and it's not coming out. However, I see something here. It can be seen, and if people are going to make a political speculation and become comfortable with it, that this is Raila, and so that's the end of it, it could be more than what we are saying. As we talk now, there are people who are very hungry. Is it angry or angry? Angry with the leadership of the president now. And these are people that maybe were close to Uhuru Kenyatta. We've seen mass firings left, right, and center on political expediency. And that group could actually seize this moment and destabilize William Ruto. This is seen as, and this move, I can tell you that it's really well oiled. I remember when I covered IBC Must Go in 2015 before Wafula Chebukati, that then when Isaac Hassan had to be forced out of office and Wafula Chebukati was given the reins of power, it was Tear Gas Mondays, kidogo kidogo. Within no time, that mobilization, what I used to, when I covered IBC Must Go, I realized there was a bit of that mobilization because you could see faces that you saw the other time. You could see some common faces that come daily, and they're very strategic, they're guiding the process, and they're the people behind everything. And this team were well oiled, and I can tell it was well oiled. So this can start off as whether it is people-centered or maybe the political will behind it. But the political will behind it does not mean that it cannot be oiled. There are people who have been pushed out of the system. And these people doesn't include Raila Odinga. These people are people who feel like the KK administration have pushed them out unfairly. And so the only way they can do is to find a way they can crack the political power. Raila might be going the political illegitimacy push and see if it's going to get the spark. When I was analyzing about his grand return, I said that in the diary there's just a lot of it, and what people then are waiting to see are his action. What is he going to do? What could be it? It could be a very well planned protest, and that move is to destabilize and to push the illegitimacy question, because the truth of the matter here is that people are campaigning. Now, from this, it can start that way, it develops, and it provides an opportunity for regrouping. regrouping ahead of 2027. I don't know what it will produce, because it has to start with that level. Then maybe within no time you can find other people coming over to join, and it can take that direction. But this is what the bigger picture that I see. The Kamkunji rally that was organized, according to me, there was a bit of a plan to make sure that it's peaceful, and it was supposed to be a bit of some protest. But somewhere in the middle, Kenya Kwanza successfully ran with the narrative that Raila wanted to destroy people's businesses. And then he was pushed in the corner to be more defensive and to shield his reputation, then resort to Kamkunji. Then after that, he said, he was in Mombasa saying, Raila was in Mombasa saying that he's been called by Joe Biden and was going to meet Joe Biden. When he came back, there has been a little bit of that some silence, and he's been saying that I'm going to talk to the nation, I'm going to talk later on. So the discussion was that maybe Raila was muzzled or was silenced by the big boys, the Europe big boys. And that could be it. But the other narrative could be that he might have stormed out, and the negotiations, maybe the conversations that were going on, did not materialize. I see a possibility. If you look at that whistleblower, profile of the whistleblower is from America, and I mentioned to you guys that it's from America. I can see a possibility that these will be a well-oiled strategies and plots, even dragging the international community in the fold. You cannot fail to drag the international community, because it's not a coincidence that is just coming off. It's not a coincidence that is just coming after that, and it's been planned, and as you've heard, I think it's still going to continue. So I see possibility that Raila and the Biden meeting did not yield any fruit, and maybe he stormed out of it. Lastly, if there were any talks between Ruto and Raila, then those talks collapsed. I can tell you, if, I am not saying Raila and Ruto were talking, but if indeed there was some talks between the two leaders, be it about the leader of opposition office, the IBC questions issue, and all that, those talks might have collapsed. This issue is starting off as more of a political process. It's more of a political protest. But if you follow, and I've tried to gather that some of the messages that they were relaying during that protest is Ruto must go, and it was because of the legitimacy question and the standard of living. I know it can start. The issue of Chebukati and that whistleblower is just to give it a spark. The way the Chereras also gave it a spark, it was just to start. It was just like a starter. So this issue, the issues can be like starters. But in the fullness of time, the conversation will have to change to be about the cost of living, because you can push the legitimacy in the whistleblower report, but you cannot undo the fact that William Ruto is a president. One thing that will be a bit of unifier, because politics is more divisive, there are those who support Raila, those who support Ruto. But for you to take a neutral route, they can go the cost of living route. Remember, as we talk, budget process is going on. And there are already discussions about how prices of things might likely go high, and the fact that the big scare from the treasury that we should brace ourselves, that we have high or hard economic times coming. So I see this as not something to be taken lightly, and most probably, I think Raila is not talking with Ruto, as we've always been saying. I don't think there is that going on.